What's up to all my people out there who are listening, and welcome to another episode of Anchored at the Table. Big crowd.
Wild.
One day I'm gonna get one of these buttons with the audience in it. Today is a special day because we are graced with the beautiful presence of a wonderful, amazing friend, Erin Jo Harris, all the way from Nashville. Please welcome her to the podcast.
I feel the welcoming from the future.
Yeah. Come on. Erin is an artist, author, and creator of Heaven Permaculture. And I'm so excited to have her bless us with her knowledge and her revelation and just how she lives her life. And so tell us a little bit about yourself, Erin.
All right, Mr. Kelly Easter.
Yeah.
So my name is Erin Jo Harris, and I'm originally from Denver, Colorado.
Denver.
Yes, Denver, Colorado, Mile High City. And I have been called from a young age to the arts, to the performing arts.
Yeah.
And it's just gotten a hold of me at a young age and has continued to develop, and God has continued to cultivate the gifts that he's put in me. And when I started seeking after him, everything exploded and everything got, to a level that, I really don't know how it happened except for it was him. It was his fingerprints on it. So, I had a lot of challenges to overcome in my life. I had a lot of pain, and I was lost for a lot of years. Despite the fact that my parents had the good sense to put me in Christian school and I was getting the word. But it wasn't until I was 27 that I had a real revelatory, experience of Christ.
Wow.
And so that was when I really came into the fold. That was actually in Costa Rica.
Okay. Wow.
And I've been a little bit nomadic, kind of living here and there. And I think that's part of God's call on my life is to go to the nations and to bring heaven and to bring the culture of heaven to diverse places and to diverse art forms. And hence my ministry, Heaven Permaculture, which developed in the past few years. I did this intense coaching program. And through that program, we dove into all kinds of like your past and your traumas and your limiting beliefs and all that kind of thing. And they asked you to boil down all of these revelations to kind of like distill your mission and your purpose. And, the purpose that really resonated was Heaven Permaculture. So that means, at least my definition is creating holy ecosystems through diverse art forms.
Interesting. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. So permaculture is a method of farming where the diversity of your planting and your growing and your raising of animals, like the more diverse, the better, because the diversity actually creates its own ecosystem. Right.
Kind of like the regenerative farming.
Yes.
Yeah, where it's kind of running on its own ecosystem.
Yes, totally. So I feel like if we can bring, excellence and power and truth and beauty and goodness into diverse art forms, we can bring heaven to earth through edifying souls and through nourishing people's souls through art, which is what I think art should do.
Right. Yeah.
And I feel like it's gone way far out of bounds to the opposite. It's actually destroying people's souls. A lot of mainstream art.
Wow.
A lot of it's still really great, but some of the stuff that is being lifted up is actually really destructive to the soul. And I've suffered by listening to the wrong music and watching the wrong stuff and reading the wrong stuff. So it's like, let's put something in that's going to nourish the soul in a lot of diverse ways.
Wow. What was growing up like for you, like your childhood? Did you grow up in a predominantly Christian home, or was that something maybe you and your family discovered later in life, or was it more religion? Or
yeah, I would say it was cultural Christianity.
Yeah.
So it was we say we're Christian and we, go to church, and maybe we have like some kind of moral compass. But when it comes to the gifts of the Spirit, power for healing, very deep connected relationships, I would say it was definitely more on the shallow side. So
you feel like there wasn't much depth to what was being taught?
Yeah, I mean, it was growing up in Christian schools, it was like the Bible is a textbook. And I had Bible class and we study it like a textbook, and then we have a quiz on it. And even though I know like that made a big difference when I finally did come to true faith, it's like I already had that word in my mind, in my memory.
It's like at your foundation.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not, it was a good thing. It was a good thing.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a powerful thing, And so, like when I really came to the faith in Costa Rica, and one of the craziest things that happened was, I had this heavenly vision, and it was this scene where it was like this gorgeous dome, and there was like a parade happening, and they're coming down this ramp inside this dome, and it was these people on beautiful horses with these flags, and everyone was wearing these white robes with like this beautiful embroidery or like stones on it, like sewn into the embroidery. And it was all different kinds of people, every tribe and nation, just like it says in the book. And the thing I knew why it was heaven is because this song was so beautiful. And it was like there was this main melody, and it was being sung by women. Wow. And it was like Hebrew. It was in Hebrew because it sounded exactly like Hebrew. I don't know Hebrew, but I knew what it was. Yeah. And that was like the central melody. And then there was like 1,000 other songs at the same time in perfect harmony of every different style.
Different tongues, perhaps, maybe?
Yes, different languages, different, like it was like, marching band music and, African tribal music and like, funky disco music and like chants. And it was like every kind of song that you can possibly imagine, like classical, folky. It was all being made in perfect harmony, but it was different songs with different time signatures and different meters. And I was like, no human could ever make this. No human on earth could ever make this sound. Yeah. And I was like, this is heaven. And that was before my bands in Colorado. That was before I started acting. That was before anything. Yeah. And I feel like God gave me a taste of that glory so that I would realize that nothing on this earth compares to where we're going, where we're actually seated with Eternity. Christ. So it's like whatever happens, Grammys, Academy Awards, it really pales. It does not hold a single flame to what is really waiting for us.
Wow. Yeah. That's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously. Like, I'm so thankful that God showed that to me.
Wow.
Because it really, like, it showed me what really matters and what doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so good.
It's like, there's where you want your treasure to be, y'all.
Yeah. In eternity.
That's right.
Treasure stored in heaven.
So,
that's so cool. Would you say that was when God probably first became real for you in your life, or?
Yeah. I mean, when I was growing up, I thought I was a Christian. I thought I did believe, but I didn't give a second thought to God outside of school. I was just concerned with everything else, like getting good grades and, being cool and making friends. And I had a lot of brokenness because my parents split when I was young.
Yeah.
And, kind of going back and forth between houses and that kind of like lack of stability. And I was just trying to be loved.
Yeah.
And when I first hit the stage when I was a young child, like I had this role in my kindergarten. And it was like the whole school did a Christmas concert every year. And I got the role of like the farmer planting the seeds.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I had these overalls on and I was singing that song, "Oh, the Lord's been good to me. And so I thank the Lord for giving me the things I need, the sun and the rain and the apple seeds." I was like, that was prophetic, you know, because now like I'm such a tree hugging Jesus hippie girl. But like when I started singing the song and like doing my little skit, the whole audience was in stitches and they were just like the first line, they were all laughing. And it was like, yes, this is my place. Like, this is my gift. This is where I should be on stage. So, but it's like, was God real to me? Certain things, like I did go to I guess you could say charismatic type of school. Because when we went to summer camp, one of the electives was speaking in tongues.
In summer camp? That's strange. I thought that was supposed to be like a spiritual flow.
I know.
That's crazy.
But it's like, I remember the girl next to me, she started like, speaking in tongues. And I was like so jealous. And I was like, I don't know if I'm getting this. And then I kind of like started having this spiritual sight of like letters kind of lining up.
Oh, interesting.
And it's kind of like I would just say it and then it would like a few more letters would appear and a few more letters would appear.
Wow.
So I had a sense of the supernatural, but it was kind of like, it was just part of life. I more cared about having friends and having boys like me and dressing in cool outfits.
Yeah, yeah.
And it
like
was
a lot of kids at that age.
Yeah, I wanted to be liked. I wanted to be loved. And, God was kind of, I don't know. Some people say it's like your life goes from black and white to color. And it really does feel like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I feel like that was when I could actually take a hold of something that would heal me and that would actually fulfill what I was lacking. And before it was just like, oh, I'm at school during the day, but during the weekends, me and my 16-year-old friends are at the club.
Yeah.
Listening to music we should not have been listening to.
Yeah.
and dancing like we should not have been dancing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And that was at a young age, you know, like party life and club life and everything, like 16.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty typical for you know, a lot of high schools. I mean, even me, I grew up very Christian home, but you know, it was, I think a lot of it was mostly religion, you know, and so for me too, it was like, you know, you catch the spirit on Sunday, and then on Monday you're chilling with the essays in the park, taking some Jack Daniels to the head with a little blunt, and the girls are around and carne asada on the grill, and we just ditching school, and and I, you know, you feel that conviction, and you're like, oh man, I was just in church, but now here I am, like, but you know, God is so faithful in the midst of that, because he shows himself to you, you know, and somewhere in the middle of all that, he's like, I'm still here, you know. It's like,
yeah, he was there.
Yeah, he was there,
the whole time.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, so that's crazy. What do you do now, and what are you most passionate about in life?
Well, now I mean, as always, I have a few different things going on. I'm writing my first book.
Wow.
And it's called Towers of Silver.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What's that concept about?
It is a sacred guide to womanhood. And it's based on a verse from Song of Solomon.
Wow.
Which is Song of Solomon 8, verses 8 and 9.
Okay.
And I want to encourage everyone to look it up. It's a very deep, rich verse. And the basic concept is boundaries equals worth. So it's like, we have a little sister and her breasts are not yet grown. What will we do for her on the day she is spoken for?
Wow.
If she is a wall, we will build towers of silver upon her. But if she is a door, we will board her up with panels of cedar.
Wow.
And that seems kind of like, what does that mean? Right. But it's like, if she's a wall, if she has strong boundaries, then we're going to like reinforce and edify that wall with a tower of silver, which is like amazing worth and priceless and fame and purity and all this kind of thing. But if she's a door, like if she just lets anything in and out of her life, then we will board her up with panels of cedar. Wow. And cedar is something that keeps pests away. Cedar is used for like to describe a strong man. So it's like cedars of Lebanon.
Cedars of Lebanon. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, we're gonna become her boundary. Like if she's a door, we're gonna put boundaries down for her.
Right.
And so it's like everything that I've learned and grown in, seeking God and seeking the scriptures and being you know, wanting to be the woman that He created me to be, and all the things that I've overcome and all the repenting I had to do and the changing I had to do.
Yeah.
And there is like, the scripture is a treasure trove of wisdom for women and men. And this is like the woman version. So this is like for young women of any age, really, to say like, this is what God wants for you. Yeah. And if you're doing some, you know, if your life isn't peaceful, and if you're not gentle, and if you're not feminine, and if you're not having success in different areas of your life, there are solutions. Yeah. Like there are real solutions for this. Yeah. Like I have a chapter in there called Nags, Hags, and Pigs.
Do explain that one.
And it's like, don't be those things.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So like a nag, you know, there's a scripture. it's better to live on the corner of a roof than to live with a nagging wife.
Yeah, right.
And you know, people, like a lot of people in the church are like, oh, beauty doesn't matter. It just has to be like on the inside. But then you look at the story of Esther. It's like she went through a purification process. She went through a beautififying process.
Right, yeah.
Beauty does matter. Like we can't just ignore it and say, oh, it's worldly. Like, no, it's not. It's part of what how God created us to be. Everyone
came from him, right?
Yes. Everyone's beautiful.
The original creator.
And then like the pigs, it's like, there's another verse that says, a beautiful woman without discretion is like a pig with a golden ring in its snout. So like, discretion is another thing. That's another kind of boundary. I'm gonna tell my precious things only to people who I can really trust. And you know, if someone tells you something, you got to not be spreading it around.
Yeah, it's like casting pearls before swine. Yeah. So like, there's so much rich wisdom, and this is my kind of compilation and distillation of all the wisdom that I can find in the scriptures and the wisdom that's helped me. So that's my most front burner project. Yeah, that's so cool.
Right now.
Wow.
And we were talking about earlier getting back into music.
Yeah.
And that's been something I've been kind of moving towards.
Yeah.
I was in a cover band in Florida for a while, and that kind of got those juices flowing again. And I have some ideas for a full-length record, and I have a lot of songs already done, but they needed just to be recorded. And I had a dream, I think last year, of an album name called The Prey.
Wow.
Like not Prey, but Pray.
Wow.
Like The Prey.
Interesting. Yeah.
So maybe I'll name that.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll name my album that. Who knows?
Yeah. That's so cool. Wow. It's crazy to see where you are now from like where we first met. First met in, it was like August 2014. Well, no, it was summer of 2014. Yeah, summer of 2014. Yeah.
Yep.
And that was nuts. We ended up staying in the same house. The humans had a home, and Marla was kind of taking care of it while they were gone.
Yep.
And then, was I already there first, or were you?
You were already there.
I was already there.
You were already there.
And then
and I was just about to go to Amsterdam.
Amsterdam, yeah.
And I had like a few weeks of in between time where I needed a place to stay, and that's how we met.
That's crazy. Yeah, because you took Marla's spot. She went to Germany.
Yep.
And then you took over for her.
Yes.
Man, that's wild. that was another time, y'all. We
were just like youngins who were wild and free.
Right. Yeah. I learned so much that summer because there was like, I met Marla, who's from Germany. And then after that, the humans wanted to rent out the bedroom in the front. So they moved me from the front to the back. And then I met like these Airbnb guests from like India and different spots. And then I met you.
Yep.
You were like this world traveler, and, doing stuff in Europe. And
that was when God called me to the Netherlands.
Yeah, Netherlands. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. And then you had, I felt like each person who lived there showed me a different way of life. Like I was doing the Daniel fast when I first moved to LA. I was like just seeking the Lord. I was homeless and just trying to figure it all out and trust him. And I moved into that spot and learned how to do Daniel Fest through like Indian cuisine and like basically vegan,
Yeah.
And then like you moved in, you were like showing me how to like eat more healthy and like, fresh ingredients and organic. And
oh yeah. Very into it.
You were in this bentonite clay stuff. And I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna take this." I took it, and oh my gosh, it cleaned me out.
Nice.
I learned so much from you. It was like so great. Yeah.
Yep. That health journey has been over 15 years in the making.
Wow.
Like I was medically injured
Wow.
by pharmaceuticals in my 20s.
Okay.
And I had this neighbor who got me into Dr. Mercola and a guy named Paul Chek, who is very esoteric and very not Christian, but he's a master and really on the cutting edge of holistic nutrition and health and fitness. And whatever, you know, however lost he may be spiritually, his methods really helped start saving my life, saving my health.
Wow.
And I took myself off of those drugs. I started immediately getting better. And I had developed an eating disorder. I had gained like 30 pounds.
Wow.
My soul was a mess. I was more depressed than ever.
Yeah.
And it was bad news, the stuff that they put me on. So I took myself off and started becoming really hardcore about organics. And that was in New York City. So I was going all over the place doing different gigs, and I would take my food in a jar.
Wow.
And be like, I'm not eating anything
that
I didn't know I cooked, and I bought it from the farmers who made it.
The farmers. Who are these farmers?
Like the Union Square Farmers Market. It's an amazing farmers market.
That's crazy.
It's like I was just taking it right from the farm, and I wouldn't touch any other food. And I was going to bed at like 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night. All my friends, they wanted me to go party like I used to. And I was like, you can come over to my house for dinner. And then I'm going to go to sleep at 10 o'clock.
You're going to make them a mean, what is it? Eggplant parmesan.
Yes. How do you remember my signature
Of course.
dish?
You were like, I was eating something and it was like unhealthy to you. And you were like, no, put that away. No. You're like, let me cook you a real meal. And so then like I had to like divert like from what I was getting ready to do and eat. And then you were like, no, that's trash. You like made this dinner and then you like brought it out to the table and I was like, wow, what I was about to eat was not like that. And so I just remember thinking, man, that was really tasty. Everything is all fresh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's really
good stuff. I mean, it's kind of a little bit of a cheat meal because there is frying involved.
There is, yeah.
But it's still like all amazing quality ingredients. And
panko though. Was it panko bread?
Yeah. I think, it might have even had like gluten-free panko.
Right, yeah.
But that's one of my signatures.
Yeah. That's so cool. Like I love the health and wellness and that whole journey. And that summer, it helped me a lot because I was doing an acting class with Diane Benora. And shout out to Diane Benora. I'm going to have her on the show next. But, I was in acting class and we were doing all this crazy movements. She was learning these techniques from Japan and the UK. And there was just certain things where, you need to move your body a certain way. And, and I was having a hard time. And Diane came up to me after class. She was like, I love you so much, dear, and I say this with all the love, She's like, but you need to lose some weight, If you want to become an actor, whatever you tell your body to do when you're on that stage, you command it. It should just go with you and do whatever you need it to do, to get that scene in that moment, capture that moment. And I was like, oh, wow. And I didn't feel any like shame or like, I just felt like she was trying to love me and like, help me. And so I went and, ate more veganish and then everything is mostly organic. And then I worked out with a big boulder in the backyard of Brock and Kristen's place. And that boulder was my squat. It was my chest press.
Yes.
I would walk up and down those stairs in the backyard with that. And then I would go and do my cardio on the hills of Glendale there, just up and down those little hills. And I think I lost like 54 pounds that summer.
Amazing.
I felt lighter. And, I was able
you
to
get more energy.
Yeah, you get more energy. So then I had more energy for acting class.
Yes.
Yeah, drumming. Yeah, so it was really cool. I think there's really something special to like, consuming just organic and healthy.
Yeah.
Knowing where the sources of where things come from. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, our bodies are temples.
Yeah.
And when it comes to food, the Bible has it has a place for veganism and it has a place for carnivore, carnivore style.
Yeah.
And I think that whatever you do, just eat what God made. That will do you very well. Like I've done every kind of diet. I would say I'm an expert in special diets because I have done every diet.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
And the thing that I've done for the most amount of years is food combining. So saying like, certain foods should only be eaten with other kind of foods.
Yeah, like never mix a fat with a carb or something like that.
Yeah, or like a protein with a carb or a fruit with a vegetable.
Okay, gotcha.
Don't eat fruits with vegetables.
Yeah.
And now I'm kind of more on a carnivore type style because I think that's better for women.
Yeah.
And I would say men as well, but staying away from soy, staying away from seed oils is finally like a big trend now, is like staying away from seed oils.
Yeah, I just started doing my own salad dressings because all the dressings have the seed oils in them. Yeah.
But whatever you do, give thanks, be grateful to the Lord, try and do food combining and chew your food.
So take your time when you
chew a lot more than you think.
Okay. Yeah.
And try and reduce processed foods. But yeah, I mean, like people need minerals. They need healthy salts.
Yeah.
They need a diverse range of nutrients. Like started doing some colloidal silver. I'm going to start doing colloidal copper. And I'm not a doctor, so this is not medical advice, but since I started eating organic, like the clock just stops. Like
reversing the aging
reverse
process.
Aging is real. High quality water is huge.
Right. Yeah, that's a big one.
Like either filtered water where you add in the minerals back in afterwards, or spring water. You get water delivery. But you got to get unfluoridated water. Apparently, this is at least, scientific theory. I'm not a scientist yet.
Yeah.
But apparently it calcifies your pineal gland.
Does, yeah.
Which is what they say is like the spirit gland.
Yeah.
So it's something that you could say nefarious people in power want to calcify everyone's pineal glands. That's why they put fluoride in the water. They want to deaden people's spirituality. So they actually put like, and you can see like added calcium in your orange juice or whatever. It's like, if it's not in there, I don't want it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Right.
It's like you could keep your extra calcium. Like I'll get it from some salt or whatever I need to get it from.
Yeah.
But and sleep and sunshine.
Yeah.
Healthy relationships.
Yeah. Circadian rhythms and
I'm
trying to learn that now. I just started a whole thing where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna eat better. I'm gonna I remove most of the seed oils. I did like avocado oil and
coconut oil. Is fine.
Oil. Yeah. But they were saying they slip them in the sauces, and I was like, oh, okay. And I was avoiding looking at the salad dressing. So then
this makes me shudder.
Yeah, even when I looked at the plant-based dressings in my fridge, which you would think, oh, these are healthy, they're vegan and all this stuff. You're like, you look at it, and those are like full of seed oils, and you're like, oh man, and they're highly like
processed,
inflammatory.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
So it's really, really bad. So I just recently started switching that. And then also my goal was get up earlier. So
getting the sun right away.
Getting the sun right away. So I'm like working on the earlier thing. I'm going to bed more. So I'm getting up more around like 8 a.m. right now. And then hopefully next week it'll be 7 a.m.
Nice.
So I'm rolling it back a little at a time.
15 minutes a day.
Yeah.
Roll it on back.
Yeah, exactly. And then, going to the gym 4 or 5 times a week. And that's been great. And the last 2 weeks, I probably lost about 6 or 7 pounds. So
Woo!
it's a small victory, but we're starting somewhere. So I'm just trying to really be a good steward of the temple that God gave me and stay healthy, so.
Yep. Your spirit is in here, y'all.
Yeah.
Your spirit's in here. It can't go outside of it.
Yeah.
So you want this to be on point.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's really hard to be full of joy when your body is miserable.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's like, you feel like crap,
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. I've had those moments, I went on a journey probably about 1.5 years ago, and I lost 107 pounds, but it was crazy. It was during the pandemic, actually.
Good for you.
So it was really wild. I just had enough. I was my heaviest I had been. I was emotionally eating, especially during that time. And so it taught me about my emotions and how it's attached to my eating. And sometimes, and I would catch it and be like, man, when I got really, really stressed or emotional, I would want something more fried and bad or sweet, glazed. So it helped a lot, but it was maybe a little bit unhealthy in a sense because I lost the weight too fast.
Oh man.
So by the time I got married and went on my honeymoon, I started putting the weight back on pretty quickly as I went to just eating regular food. And we're like eating all organic, healthy stuff. It was on the coast of Cali. They live in, you have to go like, I think almost an hour outside of town just to get fast food. Because this place is so strict about it's like farmers, hippies, And I just started putting the weight back on. So now I'm trying to take a more slower approach where you keep it off.
Yeah, it has longer. To be a lifestyle.
There you go, lifestyle.
It has to be an everyday lifestyle.
Yeah, right.
You don't get healthy just doing something once.
Yeah.
You stay healthy doing something every day all the time.
Right.
And I can really say after 15 years of keeping my sugars low, keeping the grains low, and making sure everything is organic as possible, including the beauty products.
Yeah, right. Deodorant and all that stuff.
Yep. Yeah. High quality sleep, sunshine. Because no matter what you do during the day, the sleep locks in the benefits of what you do during the day. Yeah. So it's like whether you're working out or eating amazingly well, it's like all of those things integrate and all the nutrients get absorbed and the body repairs from all the tearing of those muscles during your workout. So if your sleep is off, you are not getting any benefits of what you're doing with your diet and your exercise.
Correct. Yeah.
So I would say water and sleep and sunshine are even more important baseline to get on point than going on some crazy diet and exercise plan.
Yeah.
Because, but I will say, if you cut out grains and seed oils and sugars, I would say go on some kind of anti-parasite diet, your pounds are going to melt off.
Right. Yeah.
They're going to melt off. Because parasites feed on sugar, cancers feed on sugar. If you take those things away, your body starts melting away. It's really
all the unhealthy
quite amazing.
Stuff. The subcutaneous and the visceral fats and all that.
Yeah. But when it comes to the emotional eating and stuff, there's a real insidious thing with that. It's like anything you use to comfort yourself instead of the comforter, the Holy Spirit.
Right.
That's an idol coming out to the surface. Or anything that it's like if you're in your prayer and worship time, anything that sneaks into your mind to try and distract you from God, that's an idol showing itself. So this is like an amazing key to realize that. It's like, if you're sad, if your friends just cancel the dinner, what do you want? Like, do you want to go grab some weed? Do you want to go grab some donuts? Do you want to go, get some money out of your bank account? Like, do you want to watch something you shouldn't? That is your idol showing itself. It's like, I can comfort you.
Wow.
Just grab me.
False comfort.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm realizing to recognize that. I'm like, oh, that's my idol popping up. Wow. Crush it.
Right.
Tear that thing down.
Yeah.
I tear down the altar that I've built in myself to that thing by grabbing for it instead of going to my knees saying, let your perfect love fill me. Comfort me, Holy Spirit.
Right.
Comfort me of this disappointment.
Yeah.
Comfort me of this, fear.
Yeah.
That I'm experiencing, or this, this lack in my life.
Yeah.
And that's how when that's what you want to grab for. That's the thing that's distracting you.
Yeah.
When you're worshiping.
Yeah.
Those are idols, y'all.
That's crazy. Yeah. I feel like pinpointing those things that, we tend to put shackles on our own selves. We're always like, Lord, break the shackles. And I know there's probably a lot of people who can relate how you pray that prayer, break the shackles, and then he breaks you free of the shackles and he pinpoints what the shackles even are. And then somehow you end right back in the shackles. And it's like, we can actually run back and grab them, put them on our ankles and be like, what happened, Lord?
Seriously. And I was just reading, I think I was trying to find something in Ecclesiastes. And I was kind of skimming through the whole book. And there's this part, and it's like a fly landing in the apothecary's perfume. That's the stench of a little bit of folly with someone who is thought of as wise. Something like that. So you can be a really wise person, but if you have even this little area of your life where you are in bondage or you're going after this thing, it's folly, it could be addictions, it could be anything. It's like there's a stench to that, and it ruins the perfume of what you're cultivating. Like all these amazing things you're cultivating in your life. Like, you know how many flowers it takes to get rose oil? It's like thousands, hundreds of pounds, like thousands of roses to get a little tiny bit of rose essential oil. It's a costly thing to develop this perfume of your life and your soul. And if you have this little folly there, it's like a fly that's making this disgusting stench. And it's like, I read that last night and I was like, convicted.
Right. Yeah, that is a major conviction zone. You're like, damn.
I'm like, I don't want that fly stench. My perfume? No.
I don't want my rose oil smelling like poo somehow. I mean, come on.
Seriously, I gotta get it out.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy.